Alright guys, so we were going through some old stuff in KW's bedroom recently at his parents' house. And we came across a lot of first time cosplays, so we decided to both bring out our original dirty laundry and show you guys.
We want to show you guys that we all have to start somewhere. You may feel like you're always going to be stuck with not looking the best and not getting the most pictures. Trust me, you gotta start somewhere. And the only thing to always keep in mind is never give up. If you love it, nothing should stop you. So let's get started. The first thing that a lot of people getting into cosplay have trouble with: wigs.
Early wigs, first wigs, shitty wigs, didn't have enough money for the wigs.
How do you buy a wig? Where do you buy a wig? What's the quality? How do you know about quality? Most people think wig, and whenever they first get into cosplay, they think, I'll just buy something at, a party store. That's a wig, right? I myself have fallen victim to the idea that, oh, well, it's a wig, so it must work.
I mean, you get what you can afford at the time, you get what you have access to
yeah.
at the time. I think at an early age, a lot of us start off with, I'm not allowed to order things off the internet.
Oh yeah, back in the days when people were like, buying off the internet sounds like a scam just to get your credit card number. We've all heard that from our parents. But
Or taken to the party store, like, well, if you really need a wig, they have them at the Halloween shop. Why don't you go buy a wig?
They're like, well, it's much cheaper. Why would you pay $60 for a wig when, you could get one for $10? Ooh.
Yeah.
And look, now you have Mellow. This was my idea of Mellow. Now, okay, nobody can blame me. I was young, starting into this world called cosplay, or cosplay, however you pronounce it. Sorry, I learned the word from my Japanese teacher, so I pronounce it cosplay. But yes, this was my idea of Mellow, and I threw this on my head. There's no adjuster, even still got the tag, and that was my idea of,
aw, look at
I'm
you.
Mellow.
Hi, Mellow.
Nobody should ever be blamed. If this is what you can afford
Or what
at
you're
the
allowed
time,
to buy.
or what you're allowed to buy, this is a good start. This is a good start. Don't ever settle to make this my final. I was not intending for this to be my final at all, and I was saving up and preparing to finish Mellow, and I have finished Mellow. Yay! But this was my idea of a start. Good start.
Good start.
Now,
Likewise,
people who try to edit their wigs that are cheap wigs.
This was my start out. I had taken a 3-year hiatus from cosplaying, and then I had come back to it with Krona from Soul Eater. And this is my Krona wig. I was living on my own, but I was completely broke at the time. So I bought a $5 after Halloween sale costume wig. It was probably seen this, pink cyber pixie is what this wig was originally deemed. And I dyed the blonde with Copic and Sharpie markers that I had on hand at the time. I sit and drew on every strand, and that's not bad either. I mean, this wig served its purpose. It did what it needed to do at the time. And Krona, my first run of Krona was my first getting back into cosplaying after years. I couldn't afford to, oh my god, let me spend, $500 on Krona. It was a cheap cosplay. It was thrown together from things I picked up from dollar stores and stuff. There's no shame in that.
No.
I ended up upgrading it the year after because I ended up liking the character and liking being the character so much. It was a great way to do a cheap test run and then eventually spend more time and effort and money on a character I really liked. But I got my start back into cosplay with this kind of stuff. I look at this and I'm like, wow, this wig doesn't look good anymore, and it really didn't look good at the time. And if I had let that get me down and be like, I'm just not doing Krona because he looks terrible and I can't get a wig that's good quality, so I'm not going to do him at all, I would never have discovered that I love the character enough to spend a lot of time and effort on making him better.
Exactly. Cosplay is for fun, and this I see as amazing because you generally do not see people who are willing to edit their wigs, and so to see this as even though it was, what did you say, $5?
Yeah.
That's still really, really cool. An edit of a $5 wig, this does look really, really good. I mean, it's been thrown around packing, so excuse
It also got turned into
nice
Trickster Car Cat at one point.
Skewness. Mine, I've actually had my cousin ask me if there was a dead dog in my room whenever he saw this. And the thing is, whenever you're starting out, you're starting, which means you will learn. You can't just jump into something and instantly be perfect at it. If you do, wow, you're amazing. Way to go, you. But you can't just jump in. And so, what I actually learned from this, I'm glad I learned from this. I learned, okay, this wig is too shiny. Is one big thing that I learned. This is not photogenic wig. It glistens, it glows, it makes your head look weird. Every little strand will glisten and glow, catching. You
look at the camera and you go, I'm an angel.
No, yeah, no.
Old show. Nobody's gonna get that reference. It's a really old show.
It also shows a lot of the netting. And then I didn't know, and you learn as you go. So starting out, you are in learning process. I didn't know, how do I keep my hair from showing through my wig? Because I have different color hair than my wig. I read about wig caps. I didn't know what the hell that meant, but I read about it online. Wasn't finding any in just my random stores, and I didn't go to Sally's. I didn't know Sally's existed. I'm a dude. I didn't know what Sally's was. But I did know, what do people hide their hair with normally? I bought a swim cap! This is a swimmer's cap, and I thought it serves the purpose. It makes you bald and hides your hair, right? Don't do this.
This is one mistake we will warn you not to actually do.
Don't do this.
And
it hurt so badly. It tugged at every single strand of my human hair. It didn't really make the wig look better or anything like that. It hurt. This thing is not fun. I feel sorry for swimmers and athletes, but this one, I recommend don't even try this one for your wig. First time mistakes. It happens.
One of the first things I ever sewed, one of my first cosplays ever, was Nausicaa, from Nausicaa in the Valley of Wind. And this is all sewn by machine. This is the first thing I ever made with a pattern, and I know it probably looks pretty good on camera besides the fact that it got a stain on it in storage, which is really sad. I know it probably looks pretty good to you guys. When you really look at it, there's a lot of weird, there's a hole in the shoulder here. I decided that fabric will just magically not fray on its own, so
there's a lot of fraying.
And I learned a ton about sewing making this. Yeah. Even though I didn't know what I was doing when I started, I had very basic sewing taught because my mother was a very good seamstress, and I had learned a lot, but making this dress taught me so much. It was worth making the mistakes. It was worth trying. It was worth doing because I learned so much about sewing, and just by making myself, okay, I am gonna do this, even if it comes out a little ragged and a little crappy, and I did wear it, and I enjoyed wearing it. Even though I look back on this now, I'm like, oh, there's no way I would ever wear that for cosplay now. At the time, it was great, and at the time, people looked at my age, they looked at my outfit, and they're like, wow, you sewed that, even though you were only 15, I can't believe that, because it was good for a starter. It was very good for a beginner, and I still say it was really good for a beginner.
You didn't have a wig for that, did you?
I did not. This was one that I did my own hair for.
Which, I mean, here's the thing. There should never be shame on people who don't have a wig and still choose to wear their outfit without a wig. Yes, it does throw some things off, but don't go bashing a person because they didn't have a wig.
Yeah.
They're starting out. If they did a great job with the outfit, compliment the outfit. Don't go, well, you don't have a wig.
Yeah. And
compliment the outfit. That's because this, for a first timer, this
for
amazing.
a first timer is not too terrible.
And your age, like you said, yes, that's amazing.
So yeah, this is one of my first. I actually don't have any more and I allowed myself to do the self-deprivating thing, which I don't recommend because I'm actually kind of regretting it now. I had some of my very first things I had ever done, Natsuo and Yoji, in their little school or the little sailor uniform outfits.
From Loveless.
I had made them. I had hand stitched them. And last year I actually decided that I hated myself for ever making them, and threw them away. Which, now that I'm like, oh, I want to reminisce on old cosplay, I kind of regret. Because, yeah, I was mad at the same work, and yeah, I was criticizing this and that, and now I'm going, oh, I don't have those to go, oh, look, baby cosplayer me made this. I don't have that anymore, so.
Look how far you've come. Any accomplishment that you make, pride yourself on. We all start out not the best. We can't just instantly be perfect unless somebody chose to do it for you.
You can't hold that against yourself.
No, never hold it against yourself. Never ever hold it against yourself. I don't hold this against myself. This was smart thinking. For somebody at my age with my price range, this was good thinking of, well, I don't know what a wig cap is. I don't know how much they cost. But this serves the same purpose, right? This is pretty good thinking.
And
Never
if you
beat yourself up,
if it's something that you ended up learning from, like I learned how to use a pattern making this. If it's something that you ended up learning from, it's not a failure.
No.
And you can't look at your past cosplays and just be like, oh, they were fails, or look at your current ones and being like, I'm failing so badly because I didn't get this seam straight. Well, you learned what not to do. You learned how to not make that straight seam, and now next time you're sewing, you're going to be better at it. If any of you know KW from an older time, you'll know that he cosplayed Ritsuka a lot.
I loved Ritsuka. And the first years of Ritsuka.
Aw, baby baby Ritsuka years old.
Little headband that I got Halloween. And I didn't know any better about little ears, cat ears. I didn't know how to make them, or I didn't know anybody sold them online. So I bought what I found. Yeah, I can look back now and be like, why did I buy these?
But this is important to remember too. Because if you then, years and years later, you see some new cosplayer wearing these,
they're exactly where you had been. You never forget where you have been. If you are really, feel like you're better and stuff, and you look at all the newer cosplayers, you started there too. Go compliment them on, oh, I like your outfit. Yeah, you may not like these. Yeah, you may think, oh, poor honey. Oh, honey. You poor thing wearing these. They're exactly where you started. Remind yourself of that. Don't critique them to the point where you're criticizing. You may critique. Critiquing and criticizing are two different things.
And especially critiquing if the person seems open to it. Like, definitely don't critique if they're not asking for it. But yeah, you can critique somebody when they ask for it.
If you see somebody like this on DeviantArt wearing a cheap wig and cheap ears, and you see them on DeviantArt posting a picture of them in this, if you feel they might just be doing that because, they don't know any better, like they don't know where to get a wig, they don't know where to get better ears, link them to it. And you who have had that, be open to that. If somebody goes, hey hun, here's some cheaper, nicer looking wigs online that might serve the purpose for this better, or here's a link to ears that may be better, take that. That's good critiquing. That's them cheering for you, saying, I believe you can do better if handed the supplies to do better.
Yeah.
I'm a person who doesn't think, oh, you're just going to fail forever. This person who is linking you is not saying that. They're saying, I believe with the right resources, you can be awesome. So take that. Take that with pride of, wow, somebody actually thinks I can be amazing. Which you can. Anybody can. If you try hard enough and you work on it and you don't let your little failures get you down, you can be awesome. In my past, I posted my Aritzka cosplays. 90% of my comments, and this is not an exaggeration, 90% of my comments were hate. Nothing but hate.
There was hells of a lot of hate on DeviantArt at that time.
And it hurt. It hurt a lot. I got told that I was too ugly to be Aritzka. I got told my nose was too big to be Aritzka. I got told my acne was terrible and that if I had acne I shouldn't cosplay whatsoever. That I was too skinny, that my arms freaked people out. I had a lot of that. Apparently my arms freaked people out. My eyeliner, because I'm a dude, I'd never touched eyeliner a day in my life. I apparently did too much, which looking back now, I say yes, I used too much. But I had just tried to do the anime eyes, how I thought a human can pull off anime eyes, and I got hate for that. I got hate left and right. And I got personal attacks. There's no shame in deleting those.
Yeah, it is one thing that it took me a while to realize, especially once I got on Tumblr and once I reopened my DeviantArt and started working with the group, learning that it is okay to delete hate. There is nothing saying you have to publish anon hate. You don't actually have to publish anything that gets sent to you. And it diffuses a situation so much faster if you just delete hate. And hate, the difference between critiquing and hate is critiquing is offering help, and hate or even criticism is just attacking your person, anything about you, anything about your abilities in a personal way. And those things don't have to be on your page. You really don't have to have them. You are allowed to delete them. There's no shame in deleting them. You're not backing down.
No.
You are not being chicken. None of that. Just by not fighting back, by not giving them the satisfaction of, I responded to your hate and it hurt my feelings, so I felt like I had to say something. You don't have to defend yourself to those assholes.
Oh no.
You don't have to
ever defend your person, your cosplays, to anyone. You should never have to defend what you do
a majority
to
of
other
these
people.
websites.
If you are having fun, not hurting yourself or others, why do you have to defend yourself to these people who
a
are telling you
majority
you're
of these
terrible?
websites, especially Tumblr and DeviantArt, where cosplay is pretty prominent, and YouTube. If you guys, any of y'all are starting out your own YouTube channels, which, woohoo, awesome! Delete hate comments. If it's just direct like, oh, you suck, or stop cosplaying, or oh my god, you're ugly, or oh my god, you're fat. You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to publish it. You can take it down. Nobody's going to blame you for taking it down, and it wastes so much less of your energy taking it down than it does to have to fight with them about it, or let your followers fight with them about it and have to read the comments every day, or to publish those hate messages on Tumblr, which I know is a big thing. If you get hate, don't publish it. It's not worth it. It'll hurt you every time you see it on your feed or responses to it on your feed. If you delete it, yes, that is hard to do and takes a lot of strength, but what's going to happen is that person sent you that hate comment on Anon. They're sitting there wasting their time refreshing your profile, and their comment's already in the trash bin and you've carried on with your day. They're still wasting their time trying to get a rise out of you, and you're back to surfing your dash.
They're trying
it's
to
worth
find
it.
they're trying to find justification for their life in making you feel like crap for your outfit or whatever
Anything else they've chosen to be a jerk about.
Their justification is to demean you, put you down, put down your cosplay. It's not worth it. You owe them absolutely nothing. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them an excuse as to why da-da-da. You don't owe them jack crap. You also don't need to publish that to try to gain attention from your followers, to unhealthily, constantly giving you, oh honey, you're adorable. You know you're adorable. You know you're adorable, and you should never, ever
To be
doubt
completely
that
honest,
or need 100 other people telling you that. I know that one negative comment takes the place of 100 good comments in your heart, and it hurts. I know a lot of people feel that, of you can get nice comments all day long, and oh, isn't that nice? Oh, isn't that sweet? One negative comment, and you're just like, down for the count, everybody hates me, everything sucks. No. Don't let them win.
Seriously,
you're better than that.
Even just once, try deleting it, because that was one of the best things. When I first opened up my Tumblr account, and it was way early on, I had some enemies and some frenemies who liked to put anon hate in my inbox. I wasn't even known at the time as a cosplayer. I just knew a lot of people in general who found my Tumblr, and I would publish their hate, and I would cry, and I would fight them back, and I would, well, why would you say that? Or these people are being mean, and other followers would have to pluck up for me, and it became, I'm thinking about that anon for 3 days, because for 3 days, people were constantly feeling, even after I was done crying and I was over it, I still had followers going, oh, sweetheart, I just saw that anon comment from 6 hours ago, and I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And then, instead of being on the subject I had become on, I remembered everything that happened with that anon again, because that person just signed on to Tumblr and just saw everything, and they just brought it all fresh back up in my mind, and it was a pretty bad cycle, and it was pretty rough. When I started really deleting anything I got that was hatred and pointless, just attacking me, first off, a lot of them stopped doing it because they saw there wasn't shit going on with it. And yes, there are times when you will get a bunch of just one person just harassing. That's when you block or you turn off anon for a while or something, because then you don't really need that constant influx.
And don't make it a public announcement of, I'm turning off anon because I'm getting anon hate. Don't let them ever have gratification that they've ever even touched
they don't
you.
need to know that they even
They
got
have
to you that
never
much.
affected you.
They just need to get that little, oh, this person stopped taking anons, and they're going, oh, well, crap, I can't bug them.
Something that I'm very proud of my past self for on DeviantArt and stuff, I never once tried to give excuses. I never once tried to defend myself. I don't know these people. I don't owe them an explanation. Even if I know these people, if they that badly wanted to criticize my wig or criticize my outfit, if I know them personally, they can give me a ring-a-ding-ding. And I can choose to speak to them personally about it or not. But as far as just comments of, oh my god, your acne is so disgusting, why do you even cosplay? And ew, you shouldn't even have close-up shots, that's so disgusting. Or, oh god, pluck your eyebrows. And those are rude. And I don't need those. So past self, for me, I'm proud of you for just ignoring them. Clicking the delete. Yes, it happened. Yes, it hurt. I don't need it to.
It hurts for a lot
life.
less time if you're able to just kind of.
And something
you know what?
too.
You shut up. People that are being mean on purpose.
Something though too that I learned was, yes, the hate is wrong. The hate shouldn't have happened. I didn't deserve hate. But I did try to learn a little bit from the hate at a time. If I was constantly getting, oh, well, your wig is terrible, yes, I'd delete that because it's rude, but then I would be like, okay, this seems to be something I'm picking up on often. Maybe I do need to change my wig. Okay, how do I change my wig? But I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I just need to get to the wig because I'm horrible at that. No, I was like, okay, this seems to be something I'm noticing progressing of people don't like my wig. Let me go try to find a better wig and grow from there. Okay, these little ears are getting a lot of hate. Okay, let me go try to find some more.
And you never want to say directly out there in the public, oh, I changed my ears because I got hate. You just if it's
Do
if
it
you're
for you. If you are not comfortable with your ears things, now if you're getting a lot of hate or whatever, and you're loving your ears, screw the haters. Just screw them. If you like the way that the ears look and stuff, and just because a bunch of thousands of haters hate them, screw it. If you feel good, that's the only thing that this should be about. Cosplay is for fun and for you to have fun in. So if you're having fun with your cheap little ears, go for it. There's nothing saying that you have to buy expensive ears. So yeah, but these I wasn't happy with. I knew these weren't going to be my final, but because I posted a picture in these ears and it got a lot of hate, I was like, okay, I need to figure out where to get some better ears. I wanted them anyway, but now I see that I definitely can't just get away with these. Another thing is I got a lot of hate about my nose, and I just learned how to angle my nose different. I never said it was because of haters. I also had an agent at one time who kind of taught me anyway. And this wasn't even about cosplay at all. It was just, hey, by the way, whenever you're taking pictures, I need you to aim your nose a different way if we're needing this specific look. Okay, awesome! That is brilliant! I like the nice critiquing. Somebody also helped me as far as makeup. It was a nice, sweet little critique of a girl messaged me privately and was like, hey, I see that your eye makeup isn't really top notch. It looks like you don't know what you're doing. Can you allow me to give you a few pointers? I loved that because that's what I was looking for. But instead, all I was getting was a bunch of, your makeup's horrible. Oh my god, you look like a raccoon. Oh my god, you're terrible. Why did you even do that? Oh my god, you look like an emo kid. I got a lot of those, and
I'm sorry.
I got a lot of those, and so to have somebody want to give me a tip, hallelujah, because I'd never touched makeup like a day in my life, so I needed all the help I could get, and was very, very thankful for it because I started picking up the pace. Also, I had done a lot of hand-me-downs outfits for Ritska. A lot of the outfits were just stuff I got out of my aunt's closet that she was planning on throwing away, and I saw them, and I was like, that looks like Ritska.
And I mean, I am going to throw a personal opinion out here. I think it's kind of cool when cosplayers do closet cosplays and arranged cosplays. I know that's kind of a debate sometimes in the community of canon only or make your own what you think this character would wear. Me personally, I totally support the, it looks like this would be something such and such would wear cosplaying, especially if you're going out with friends or going to the mall or just wanting to go derp around as this character and putting on wig and shades and this outfit that looked like Dave but isn't necessarily the record logo. I think that stuff is really, really cool and kind of helps you get into the character's head and helps you if you don't have the canon outfit yet and you just want to play as that character and stuff. I don't personally see anything wrong with arranged cosplays where you were like, hey, I have this shirt and this overshirt that totally look like something John would wear, but you know, I don't have anything canon John, so I'm just going to put these on with my wig. I think that stuff's cool. I think it's cool that you always did that with the Loveless boys, because you got so much cool fashion out of it and stuff.
Proud closet cosplayer, and the fact that in Loveless, which I liked, was the fact that their outfits were ever-changing in the anime and the manga.
Yeah.
And I was able to get an idea because I actually liked fashion, believe it or not. I actually liked fashion, and so to look at the way Yun Koga kind of portrayed her ideas of what the boys would wear, and I gauged what does Ritsuka often do? He layers. So I would layer a lot of things, and I would wear little accessories that felt correct.
Well, in doing that, you also have moved that on to... you do that with Roxy too now.
Yeah, I do it with Roxy a lot.
You pick out her fashion sense, and then you do a lot of arranged stuff for her, which...
Because I try to put my own self into some of my characters, and with Homestuck, generally I try to stick to the canon and whatnot because I want to go to con and be recognized instantly. Roxy's a fun character because I feel that I can play with her fashion a little and people still kind of get that that's Roxy. There won't be a mistake of, oh, who else could that be? So, for Con, I don't feel too worried about straying a little from canon and giving her her own identity and outfits and whatnot. I have fun with that. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you have the kitty shirt? Or, oh, why didn't you make the kitty? I could make the kitty shirt. I really could. It wouldn't be that difficult. But I have fun giving her her own little style. And I don't know, Hussy seemed to have fun with giving her different fashion sense than everybody else, so I chose to do it too. And I don't see anything wrong with that, and I love seeing other people do that, portraying the character however they feel they want to portray their version of that character.
I think is what's really fun about events that have like the prom themed event or medieval themed event, got to see a lot of people take the character out of their canon outfits and put them in something different that still suits them. But we got to see, you know, an adorable car cat in, you know, a suit, tie, red tie and pinstripes, and Dave and everybody in their prom versions of those characters.
It was
and
so cute.
It was beautiful. I loved the coming up with new stuff of what would this character wear, what would they like, and that kind of stuff is really fun to me. If you're just starting out and all you have is a, you know, button down and a tie, but you really want to go to this thing as Car Cat, then that's cool, and you should totally do it, and you should never feel bad for, well, I didn't have the canon stuff, but I'm just gonna put an outfit together that looks like them, or if you have to just kind of make something with what you have at home. Homestuck is definitely not my first fandom I've cosplayed, but it's still fairly early in my cosplaying experience with some of my first outfits, and this was my first attempt at John. Actually, you guys have seen this in pictures and videos. This is how soon ago I was at this level. This is a shirt that was a sleepy shirt for me. One of my night shirts happened to be blue. And I'm aware that...
You're gonna stab me in the eye.
have been made aware and am aware that the colors are inverted for God Tier John. And all I had at the time at home when I was broke, again, was my shirt and some extra fabric paint. So yeah, this is a fabric painted nighty shirt that's probably 4 or 5 years old, but I wanted to be John, and I wanted to enjoy being John and run around and play as him.
And the hood. I loved her hood. I loved the way she did the hood.
At the time, like I said, I had no money for fabric. I had no chance at getting any of that.
Being broke and trying to cosplay, we know exactly how that feels. Yep. We still know how that feels.
Yeah. This was my first John hood ever. This is actually a t-shirt. This is a long sleeve t-shirt. And the sleeves are stitched together because when they kind of just sit, they make this almost the back of John's hood. So then this gets bunched up. Go, and there's the neck. So you bunch it up and you put it over your head. And you throw the hood behind you, and there we go. God Tier John! There is nothing wrong with this. I have had a blasty blast in this outfit. I have had so much fun cosplaying John with this stuff.
And obviously you were recognized as John as well, so it served its purpose.
Yeah.
You weren't going out trying to be like, look at my perfect John cosplay!
Yeah.
But you wanted to have fun as John and wanted to be a little recognized as John, and there you go.
And this is definitely not my final attempt as John. You guys have seen, I think, my 3 other Johns, 2 to 3 other Johns that I have now that I've been able to make since then. But this was round 1, and I grew from here, and every new iteration of any John outfits I have gotten progressively better, to the point where I even have a John variation that's a shippy shirt that you guys have seen that matches Dave's, because cutes together. It's gone up from there, and we all start at some point like this, with something with some painted fabric and an old 90s shirt or something like that. I think you have to start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere. I started, this was right leading up to starting cosplay, and this was as good as I could do. Can anybody guess what I was trying to achieve here? I'm not gonna put it on, but I tried to make a Peter Pan for Halloween. This was my first attempt. This is my only attempt, unfortunately, because I have not got back into that. But just 2 t-shirts. I put together a little bit of felt, and I made one of those newspaper type of hats, and it worked. Went around as Peter Pan. Served its purpose. Children actually thought that I was Peter Pan. And I even carried this around, and I put little jingle bells in it to make it sound so it was attached to my belt. So whenever I'd walk, it gave that little bit of noise. And then I stayed in character. This was how I figured out I would really, really like cosplay, because I loved staying in character. I couldn't break character. So while we were all waiting in line to get into the zoo haunted thingy for Halloween, I had rings, pirates' treasures, coins, I had all sorts of things in here. There was even a spider ring that would occasionally crawl out attached to one of the rings, which scared the crap out of not children, but their parents, which I had fun with. Just all sorts of things. And I would stay in character, and I'd be like, you see the things I stole from pirates? And I had fun. And yes, the outfit may not have looked that great, and it didn't. But I had fun in it, and I know that if I were to try to do Peter Pan now, which I would love to, I know that I could do a lot better, because I've learned from it. I've learned what to do, what not to do, things to stick with, what to just kind of be like, forget I ever did that. We all have to start somewhere. Cosplay is for fun.
Cosplay is for fun. It's an art form. Just like drawing, painting, sculpting, making music, the first thing you ever sung, the first thing you ever drew. Those early works are good in and of themselves for what they are, for starting out. And cosplay is the exact same way. You don't look at a 10-year-old's drawing and the first thing they ever drew and go, oh, well, you're a terrible artist because you drew a house with stick figure family next to it. Everybody starts an art form at the bottom and learns from their last work and learns from their one before that and learns from their one before that, because it's always a process. And I think a lot of parents and a lot of older people don't consider cosplay an art, but it is an art that encompasses acting and styling and sewing and 100 different types of crafts.
Haircutting.
You have to know so many different things and learn so many different things, and it is something that you get better at and develop in. It's an art form. So don't ever hate your old stuff. Like, oh my god, I was so horrible. Don't hate the stuff you have right now. Work on it. Make it better. If there's something you don't like, do it different next time. Give different things a try. But never hate where you started. And never hate somebody else for being at that same starting point you started out at.
Don't give up on it. You can do it. We're still getting better every day. We're not saying, oh my god, we're perfect, allow us to teach you how to be perfect. No.
No, that's why I was even saying, like, this is the start of being in this group. And
this group is only like 2 years old. It's almost 3.
Gosh, wow.
Yeah. And so you have to start somewhere. Do not give up. We're still learning. I've mentioned before, my car cat has evolved and is still evolving, and I'm trying different things and trying to do different things. I've had so many people tell me to stop being car cat and to just let Katie do it. I mean, I love her car cat, I do, and I would prefer her to always be car cat because her car cat is like the bomb. But sometimes whenever, she wants to be Dave, and she makes a very hot Dave, might I say, Well, if we're doing Dave Cat, somebody's got to be Car Cat, and if, you know, KR's not around, well then I have to be Car Cat. And so I am learning. I'm trying to develop him, and I keep him young because I have a very young face. I can't do the older version of Car Cat because of you've got the face for older Car Cat. We can't switch faces. So I try to keep his voice a little bit younger. I also believe he's a little stunted. That's my own head canon, is that he's a little stunted. So I keep him a little stunted. I keep him sounding a little younger. And I've had a lot of people criticize me for that. And the thing is, I could let that completely change how I do him, and it might come off as creepy. Because I feel with my young face and the way that I do Car Cat, if I were to then deepen his voice, it might come off as a tad bit creepy for as far as my look. So I choose to keep him a little bit younger. And that's just how I gotta do it, especially with Matuna too. At first I tried to do him with a very deep captor voice, and it seemed very creepy for the attitude he portrays in canon, and me trying to portray that of him holding up a colored picture and trying to have a very older man sounding, going, look what I drew. It came out as actually way too creepy. It would have been offsetting to people if I were to go to con and then do that. I think it might push people a little back from me. So I chose to keep him at a little higher pitch of a voice, keep him a little more young seeming, make myself a little more approachable.
We're definitely still, to this day, and probably forever will be, as individuals and as a group, learning and changing and progressing. There are things that I learned even as recently as working with Night Veil stuff to a few events, learning things about skin painting and tattoos and things like that, like doing the eye and having to paint the eye onto someone's skin, like getting that to not wrinkle and using the right material to keep it from, you know, staining their face like the marker did on the wrists and arms, and just figuring out how to do completely new things I had never done before.
How to fully cover up a tattoo when you're doing Dirk.
Yeah, that's the new...
fully cover this so that, like, I mean, you've seen it in videos that everybody's like, why does Dirk have an Aquarius tattoo? Well, that's a real tattoo. And we're still learning. That's how it's gotta be. You have to learn.
Carlos was my first contouring. Contouring was a new concept to me, and that's the one that I've only learned in the last, I would say, 4 months.
Trying to make your face look manly. Very, very manly.
I had never done facial hair. I had never done contouring. So that kind of goes to show, like, even in the last 4 months, I've learned completely new concepts in cosplaying. So we're definitely not on this, oh, we know everything already. No, we're still learning with you guys. And you guys are going to get to watch us steadily learn, and probably 2 years from now look back at this video and be like, oh, I remember when contouring was a brand new thing to me.
Start somewhere, and we all cannot let ourselves get ourselves down, let haters get us down. You have to start somewhere. Your body is amazing. You are amazing. You learn, and you will. If it's something you want to get better at, don't let any of the negativity get you down. Remember that you have to start at the bottom to climb your way up to the top. So if you're having trouble with staying in character, maybe roleplay just on a daily basis with a friend. That's what we do to gauge just like chemistry between our characters, build our own characters, stay in character for a whole day. I mean, yeah, it might creep out your family. I did it. It creeped out my family. I would stay in Yoji all day long.
And one thing I will
because
throw
I
out
wanted
there,
to learn him.
That a lot of older people will understand better if you're trying to explain to a family member why you're talking in a different voice and why you're acting. Let them know that possibly, I mean, it may not work for everybody's parents, but some people's parents will take the answer and excuse of, it's like acting. I'm making videos. It's acting practice. I'm practicing acting. That is a usually good excuse that gets by a lot of people, is letting them know it's it's acting practice. Tell them, oh, well, I'm acting like this because it's acting practice. I'm learning to be in character for something I'm going to film or something I'm going to do. Some parents will be stubborn assholes no matter what, but
we're sorry.
Some parents will take that as a better excuse than trying to understand the entire concept of cosplay.
We all start somewhere, and I am not ashamed of these. I mean, yes, they're not great, but I'm glad I at least took the opportunity to start. If I had just been like, oh, well, I'm going to look like this at the beginning, and I don't want to start.
This is the first wig I ever cut myself. This is the first wig that I ever cut for my own self. I had never taken scissors to a wig before this one.
Really cool. Never be ashamed. Never. You will get somewhere. If you want to get somewhere, you know you can do it and you will be able to do it. All it takes is practice. Trial and error. Something as a writer, and speaking to a lot of writers in my past, you're always going to have 100 rejection letters from publishers. But then you could be a bestseller whenever one finally gives you a chance. So you be that one that gives you a chance, and the rest will build up, I guarantee you. If you are the one rooting for yourself, even if there's 1,000 negative boos, you keep cheering for yourself, continuing to take steps up, take great critiquing. Never ever reject critiquing. Because if an editor critiques a writer and the writer rejects it, well, there's going to be a spelling error. Never take those as a negativity. If they're just critiquing and saying, hey, you could revise this a little bit differently, take those. But you always be your own cheerleader. And you remind yourself that this is only the beginning. You will hear applause. I guarantee it. Stay strong, guys, and have fun.
Always, 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 always have fun. It should be fun. Sometimes you get frustrated in the making of it, but just remember, it's for fun. It's for fun. It's fun to do. It's fun to play with. It is entertaining. It's a joy, and it's an art, and it should stay a joy and an art. Never let anybody make it unfun for you.
We love you guys very much. Thank you very much for subscribing. We love every single one of you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And we hope to see you guys real soon.